our special day today is April the 22nd, and it's Earth Day. And to talk about Earth Day, to celebrate Earth Day, we have in the studio Linda Kato and Mary Sue Garner. Linda Kato has been she's sort of an activist in the environmental work. She's been pushing things here at Green Spring since I first knew her, which was about 6 or 7 years ago. I think perhaps when I first met you. And Mary Sue has also been very active in pushing things environmentally here at Green Spring. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk also about maybe generally Earth Day, as we can talk about what we know about it in the country and around the world, because it's an international event. It's not just a U.S. event. How many countries are involved?
Was it 93? 193.
193 countries, and that's a lot.
Over a billion people.
Yeah.
So it's a real international movement.
It is, absolutely.
And a holiday celebrated around the earth.
Oh, it's considered a holiday?
Well,
in
it's
some countries?
kind of a holiday.
Yeah.
Celebrated on the same day, April 22nd, everywhere.
Okay, and it's just before Arbor Day.
Yes.
Arbor Day is
U.S. holiday. Arbor
last
Day.
Friday, as I recall, in April. Okay, but actually, we in Earth Day. Well, what are some of the things? How do we celebrate Earth Day?
Well, here at Green Spring, we celebrate Earth Day on 3 days. Today is our first beginning of this celebration. This is Earth Day itself. And tomorrow we're celebrating with a nature walk in the morning, 10 o'clock. And then at 1 o'clock we have tree planting in Oak Hill.
Oh.
There'll be 3 cherry blossom trees planted.
At Oak Hill?
At Oak Hill tomorrow afternoon.
Do we have enough space around here to plant 3 more trees?
Well, these were trees that were damaged and they needed to be replaced.
So we're replacing
They're
them.
more like replacement, I think.
Okay, well, the cherry blossom certainly is a beautiful.
They're beautiful. Here on campus, getting it more beautiful every year.
Yep.
And on Wednesday, that's April 24th, we have the Earth Day Expo in Hunters Crossing Conference Center.
Okay, well, let's talk about that a little later, because that's going to be a big event.
That's a big event. Yes, I'm the co-chair of the Earth Day Committee with Dwayne Ward, and I'm also the co-leader of the Environmentalists of Green Spring with Jim Wamsley.
Oh, now, we have an environmental subcommittee of the General Services Committee.
And that's different.
What are the environmentalists? Is this a group?
That's right. This is a resident group.
Okay.
It's not related to the resident council at all.
Yeah.
It's a resident group called the Environmentalists of Green Spring, and we've been active since I moved here 8 years ago.
Oh, is that right?
So it's been going on for more than 8 years.
How many residents are involved?
Oh, I don't know. We have about 50 people on our
call list.
On our email list, but they don't all show up at the same time.
I understand that.
But it's an activity. We do field trips and have speakers and action around the campus. And we coordinate with the environmental subcommittee on the resident council.
So you meet monthly?
And we meet monthly, yes.
And could anybody come if some other residents would like to join you?
Yes, we'll be meeting in May on the 3rd Tuesday at 11 a.m. And Charlie Titchener, who has the big telescope, he will be presenting on that day, be our speaker.
And we've been able to see some interesting things through his telescope, huh?
Yes, we have. Many evenings.
Good.
Yes. We'll also have many tables, but one of the things that the environmentalists of Green Spring do is each year we try to find an organization or a person to present our certificate of appreciation.
Okay.
And we have been doing that for quite a few years.
All right.
Diane Havinga was our first recipient of that award.
Oh, and why was Diane?
For biking to work every day. And she had been biking, I guess, 10 years at that point, and she's still biking to work.
Yeah, she shows it too, you know.
She's
trim,
really trim
muscular,
and muscular,
you know. That's right, and that's what biking will do for you.
Yeah, that's right.
But I can't wait for her to go down the hill, though.
Oh, what do you mean? I watch it from my window. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Well, she inspired us
Okay,
to create
good.
this certificate of appreciation because we appreciate when someone's
Yeah.
doing something that makes a difference. And we've
Well, I think
also
that's
given
great.
to many different people, but we've also given it to Treasure Chest, an organization, for their recycling of many things here at Green Spring.
Oh. Well, who's going to get it this year?
This year, we selected the resident council and the committees.
The resident council.
Yes,
Lord.
they have worked on a big project that saved a lot of money and energy, reduced our global footprint, carbon footprint, and made more comfortable apartments for many residents. That is the New Windows project. And the resident council helped to shepherd that along. And that's why we have Mary Sue here today.
And so, but Mary Sue's not on the resident council now.
No, but she was at the time. And this was a long-term project. It extended over many different resident council
Last
leaders.
3 years.
Yeah,
Well, more than
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Because when
Lord.
it started in the budget and it fell out of the budget and it got back in the budget, the resident council was kind of shepherding along. It initiated. I was the chairman of the subcommittee on it was called the Energy Saving Subcommittee at that time. And we sent that through. We said we would like to have new windows. That there was time, and they said it was too early, but we said we wanted to have it. And
Well, we're going to have a special program on
that
the
in
windows
in May.
and the whole program.
A whole program about that
Yeah.
in May.
So
Yes.
that should be interesting, and Mary Sue would be part
And
of that
Mary
too.
Sue and Clint will
And
be
Clint.
talking.
Oh, Clint was
Clint
involved,
was
too.
the chairman of president of resident council
When it
at the
first
time
started.
when it was first initiated.
He was. That's right. So that's the whole program.
Yes, that's a whole
But so-
program coming in May.
So that's the reason, though, you're presenting, and the certificate.
And here's the certificate. Yes.
You-
Can we get in on it? Oh, well, it's got big print on it.
Let me hold it up here so
Okay.
that
Yeah. This is
we-
created by Amber. Amber and Dwayne Ward have been helping us do Earth Day, and Amber created this for us.
okay.
And here the signatures at the bottom, they're kind of small and hard to see, are Linda Kato and Jim Walmsley, the
Good,
co-chair of the environmentalists.
So
And so I'd like to present this to you, Mary Sue, in behalf of all the leaders of the resident council and all the members of the resident council and all the committees and all the hard work that the many people working on the resident council have done over the long term. Over many years I've seen it, and I appreciate it. And so Jim and I nominated, and the membership of our organization confirmed it on the 21st of March.
well, that was one. Is that the only thing that the resident council has done toward the
windows?
environmental work?
Can I say something?
Sure,
Sure,
it's
what
your turn.
That's what I was getting around to. I was going to ask you.
Well, and I would like to thank the environmentalists
Good.
for giving this certificate and recognizing all of the hard work that all of our committees have done. And it really did start on the council, I think, with Linda pushing her issues, and we decided that we should have environment as a part of the General Services Committee. You know, so it started way back when, and Linda and I had many conversations back then on how we do this, and parts of it worked and parts of it didn't, but now it's really working, I think. And
Oh, I think so. I think Dana Ancona has really.
Yes.
He's really pushed
Yeah.
some, and you know, and some major things. Let's talk about some of the
Some of the
things that the
major
council
things.
has done.
Okay, well, I wanted to go back. I went through all of the budget proposals we did through the years, starting with 2015,
Yeah.
because that's what I had on my computer. And number 2 on my list, I only pulled out the environmental parts, but it said upgrades, strengthening windows in all apartments. So back in 2015, we were starting to say, please do something about our windows. And actually, I think before that, when Roy O'Connor was president of the council, it came up. And then Clint followed, and then we kept pushing and we kept pushing. And so finally, you know, three 3-year project, millions of dollars. We now have our windows.
Well, we kept getting so many complaints about the wind whistling through and
repairs were having to be made,
and
that was a
replacing
lot of
some of
cost.
them.
Yeah, my windows were small window replaced in my kitchen.
So yeah, we were having major problems with windows.
Yeah. You want me to give you another one on the list? Repoint bricks and cement blocks of all the buildings to prevent water intrusion and damage to integrity of buildings. And that's the black stuff on the buildings. And on many of the buildings it's called lichen. It's a plant-based thing. It's not mold. And we're still asking for that to be removed. We still have problems with it.
Those can't be removed by just pressure washing. They actually are going to have to take some of the materials out and replace the materials themselves because it has really eaten into them.
But we keep asking. Our problem at Green Spring is that it takes so long to have anything accomplished. And so environmentalists have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually we get somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We can't sit back and let things happen.
Yeah. Another one along the same line, that 2015 again, clean off the black staining from the wooden railings on both sides of the entrance road as you come through the gate. Well, we've got one side that's fixed. We're still waiting for the other side.
You would have thought that would have been a project. The whole thing would have been a project.
Yeah. So, and that's in the newest bit. I think that's in the newest one, and it's going to happen, we're told, but it's not happened yet.
Yeah.
Totally. So we keep asking, and it's going to happen, but you got to live long enough to see it happen.
Okay.
That was just the first year, and I have a few others, but
well, what are some of the others?
Well, okay, one that you were really involved in. Put building identification on the outside of each exterior door.
Yeah.
And
that hasn't been yet.
It hasn't still been completed. However, we do have the big signs outside the big buildings. Outside of town center.
And we're very proud of them.
And we're very proud of those. And that really worked. But we also wanted signs outside of each doorway so we know with the name of the building that you can see from the parking lot.
Right.
So we're still waiting for that.
Right.
We do have the doorways, the exterior doors numbered now. Yeah. So you can at least say, meet me at door number 8 in Madison Green or whatever.
Which is good.
Yeah. But we still want bigger signs that say Madison Green.
Right. I was up at Oakcrest and they had the signs outside their building. They had them on the awnings where they ought to be. And I guess maybe they've never replaced their awnings, and that's what. But maybe, or when they replaced them, they were smart enough to put the names back on them.
Well, and back when we were on the council, I appointed you as vice president to be a chair of the committee on signs. So you've been working with.
And we did it.
Yeah, and we did. We got those big signs. We just didn't get the small ones, but we got the big ones. So those are all parts of the kinds of things we're trying to do to improve things that it's part of the environment. We don't want cars sitting out there waiting and the resident doesn't come.
Yeah. Well, I think also, the environmental subcommittee last year pushing the use of solar energy to heat the pool, and the use of solar energy perhaps to provide electricity on a return basis to Green Spring. So, that's an element, and we were turned down. But I hope the subcommittee doesn't give up on those kind of things. I'm sure that Dan won't.
Well, they were able to win on one thing. They have the new parking garage that's being constructed across the street from town center. That's going to have electric car charging stations in it. Yes. Yeah. So that's another one of the things that resident council kept on. And also the recycled furniture, the outdoor furniture is made from recycled plastic bags and other kinds of plastics. So that's a whole loop that we've completed. We recycle the plastic bags here and other plastics, and
speaking of recycling,
use the furniture.
It was the subcommittee that has been pushing the recycling, and then has made it clear to all the residents the difference between what we used to recycle because of Fairfax County regulations and what we can recycle now.
Now it's a change.
So they've been very active.
They've been very active in following through on that change. That's a big change. A lot of those flyers had to be redone and everything. Yeah. And still it's in process because we recycle so many things at Green Spring. A front desk, the light bulbs, the compact fluorescent light bulbs are and she's holding a compostable cup. We can. We're hoping someday to have composting going on here at Green Spring. And at the Earth Day Expo, we will have a company that's what's it called? Composters. Anyway, they're a company. It's going to be in the future. It has to happen. Composting paper products and food products.
Well, the point is that replaced the styrofoam cups
That's right.
that we had at the coffee machines, and that was another effort that was the subcommittee worked on.
That's right.
Big
That
effort.
subcommittee has been working on a lot of different things, and we're very proud of them. Yes, the whole resin.
I was watching an interview the other night by Marvin Kalb of Mike Collins, and Mike Collins is the astronaut who was in the command module as it orbited the moon, while the other two went down to the moon and walked around and came back. And Mike, in response to a question by Marvin, said that his concern, he was talking, Marvin was asking what his main concern, what was one of his major concerns when he was orbiting around the moon. And he says, well, you might think it would be the moon below me and so forth. He says, but it was the Earth. The Earth that I saw coming up above the moon. And I saw that Earth there, and I thought how fragile it is. The ocean, you see the oceans, you see the clouds, and it's just one ball out in the universe, and how fragile it is. Well, we don't get to see that when we're sitting here because we're one of those, we're not even a speck that Mike could see from his spacecraft.
Yes, that was the point in time when the astronauts came back and they saw the Earth from outer space, and then we got the pictures of the Earth from outer space, and then finally we're starting to think about the Earth as a whole. And that's when I got into the environmental movement also. And it was also an astronaut's writings. It was a book he wrote, and I was in Japan at the time and read that book, and I was really just turned on. I just felt like I really connected with the whole Earth, and really got started and became active in the environmental movement.
Well, you know, maybe we ought to talk a little bit about our expo.
Our expo, yes.
Because it's a big event.
It's a big event.
What are we going to have there?
We're going to have at least 20 tables.
20 tables?
Yeah, 20 tables. We got lined up on two sides. We have about 10 from outside and 10 from inside, resident groups and outside. We have Mike Ewald from the Energy Justice Network, and he will be speaking about incinerating trash. So a theme of this expo is about trash and recycling, and what should we do with all of these things. So we will have two tables just explaining here at Green Spring what we do with the different items. So there'll be two tables on plastic recycling and the numbers and when to use the numbers, and the speaker, like I said, will be talking about the big picture about what happens when you burn trash.
Yeah, you know.
And what happens to our trash here at Green Spring, where does it go?
I noticed his subject was the incineration, and yet, and now it's a bad thing apparently, but yet when it started, it was a good thing because we looked at being able to burn trash to generate energy as a really great way to get rid of our trash.
We will be continuing to do that for many decades.
Yeah.
It's not a good solution, but it's one of the solutions we are going to be working with as we go forward, because we have no choice. But it creates dioxin, and it's a really difficult, very dangerous chemical, and it's very hard to remove the dioxin. And so
that's the principle. That's the main contaminant that comes out of it.
That there's a lot of other contaminants.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
So it's a poor solution, but it's one of the solutions that we will be working with as we go forward. There are a lot of poor solutions that we're going to have to work with. So we just need to be more intelligent about all of the options of what we can do as citizens, what to vote for and things. So this is a kind of education around trash, around recycling, around those kind of things.
Well, actually, one of the purposes of Earth Day was to teach in, right? Environmental
Education
teach-in.
is an important part of it. That's right. It has always been. Yep.
Okay.
And also we'll be having Meg Mall from the Faith Alliance for Climate Solutions. And she was here last month and met some of our members, the environmentalists. We'll have We'll have the naturalist with her critters again.
Oh,
And we'll have the late bloomers table with all the flowers.
and that's a Green Spring.
That's
table.
Green Spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Green Spring group. I see somebody here. who, so the late bloomers will have the flowers in the raffles, and then we'll have a $5 lunch that people can purchase, a vegetarian lunch, and tables with tablecloths.
Aren't we having hot dogs?
Well, maybe there'll be hot dogs there.
You said it's vegetarian.
No, it is black bean burgers. Black bean burgers.
Black bean burgers.
Yes. Black bean.
I haven't eaten one of those.
No.
Are they good?
I've heard that they are very good.
But you haven't eaten one.
Well, I can't eat them because they're not gluten-free.
Oh, I see, okay.
But they are vegetarian. And so we have several different, it's a really nice hot lunch, a vegetarian hot lunch.
Gluten-free.
No, not gluten-free. That's the problem.
Okay.
But let's see, the library will be selling books.
Yeah.
And so you'll need money for the library books and other kinds of donations.
Plants are there.
The plants will be all given away. The plants that will be at the centerpieces and on all the tables will be raffled off and given away. So all of them will be, and the people have brought spider plants in to, if you'd like to start a spider plant, we've got starters that are in pots already. So it's a traditional Earth Day that we usually have at Green Spring, but we're focusing on what we can do with recycling our trash, composting, these things that are coming in the future, and decisions that will need to be made in the future with respect to incineration and where our trash is going.
Okay. Mary Sue, do you have anything to add to our conversation here?
No, I think you're doing a good job. No, I think Earth Day is a really important day for all of us here. I hope all the residents try to go, at least for part of the time, because I think it is information, education, two of the most important things we need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things going on around here. The nature walk tomorrow.
Yes,
if you can
tomorrow.
go to that. I mean, I was out walking in the gardens looking at all the plants and the flowers that are starting to bloom, and there's some lovely, lovely things out there
I understand
already.
there's one garden up there that's particularly nice.
Yes, it is. And I took pictures of it yesterday.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Look for it in the Villager next time.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming.
Thank you, Greg.
I hope we have a successful
Oh yes, I'm sure
Earth
we
Day,
will.
and especially on Wednesday with our
The expo.
expo over at
It starts at 11.
Hunter's Crossing.
It starts at
Oh,
11.
that's-
It goes to 3, and the speaker will come on at 1:30. Mike
Okay.
Bewell, the speaker.
So, and how long will he speak?
Well, he'll speak, and I asked him to leave a lot of time for questions and answers because we want to know what we can do here.
Yeah.
But he has quite a few slides, so it'll be a full lecture.
And he will be talking about incineration.
Incineration
of
problems,
trash.
Problems related
The
to
problems,
incineration. Yes.
Yeah. All right.